Good evening, guys. I'm just going to give a couple of minutes for guys to join in. Guys, already waiting. Thanks a lot for waiting. Just be patient with me for a few minutes. And I can't really see who else is here. Right, guys. As you can see, the today's session is for catch up because we started our education last week, and I can see quite a few guys here. You can unmute yourself, ask any question you would like to ask. I'm expecting a lot of questions, and I'm hoping that you guys interact rather than sit quietly, because you need to ask questions to clear your mind. Otherwise, you're not going to go far. The basic sessions we done last week. I've done the video as well. So basically, I want no questions regarding the videos. Is there anything that you're unclear? And there's a trade that we took, and I want to see everything that the experience that you went through with that trade, because it was a great example of certain things that we go through every trade. And that was a perfect example. Euro JPY we took on Monday. So I am going to go into that to show you exactly how things what are the things that happens when you actually in the trade. And I want from your side how you felt about this, because it went to so many times, when this close to stop, 5 pips away, just about to take us out, eventually almost to the target. So I want to hear from you how you actually felt about the trade, because I did say go into your demo and practice, and we took a trade, and that is just to get the confidence. And that is the one of the reason I said do not trade for this month, because we want to take trades, and we want to trade and let the trade run, let the trade plan out, make the decisions, market decisions, which way the market is going to go. Because we already made our decision, we are already on the trade. We want to see how that progresses. And a lot of you guys, this is the thing that you don't have, and that's what I'm trying to build into you, where you some of the trades that you have to let it run till you see the end product. And a lot of the time that most of the new guys usually don't have the patience, and they usually do make so many silly mistakes. And the reason that I said on demo, so that you don't make those silly mistakes, I just want you to go take that trade, sit back and see what it does every day. It took us 4 days before we hit almost our target. So how many times do you come out thinking it's a wrong trade? How many times do you stay on the trade thinking it's a good trade and end up a bad trade? So I want to hear from you. What do you actually went through with that trade? Because that is a perfect example. First trade we took. We're going to do that more often. Anybody, any volunteers, anyone who actually went into the trade, left it the way I said for the whole week almost, before we cashed it. I said to close it on, I think it was on Thursday. What are the things that you went through? Is there anything that um, you 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 probably would have done something different, or in your mind, what are the things that went through when that trade was about to go and hit your stop? Um, Although I said demo, I know a lot of you guys put it into the real account, which I really don't want. You can trade it's your money. You can do whatever you want to do with it. The reason that we decided 1 month of demo trading practice is that so that you've done it for I don't know how many years you guys done it. There must be a reason for you not progressing any further. So that's what I'm trying to fix here. So if you're going to do the same thing again, I mean, what is the point actually? It's wasting your time as well. Just going to be coming to a session, or you're going to listen to me certain things, and then you're going to go on to do something else. This is what you've been doing anyways. So why couldn't you just say to yourself, I'm going to give one more try, just follow the instruction for 1 month. After that, you can do whatever you want to do. So at least you can say, you know what? At least I tried something, and what I'm actually doing, you guys are happy to have within your trading. So I am not doing anything different. Everything that I've been trading for the last 2 years is exactly what I do with my trading. Why are you not making money when I do? The reason for that is those are the silly things that you do in between the trades. And that is one thing, trying to get rid of your trading, is that bad habits. So that's the only way we're going to move forward. Any volunteers on that trade? I am going to go on to, I'm going to share the screen. and I'm going to go onto that trade if I can find it. Where was it? So if I can find it, I'm going to share the screen. Can't seem to find the screen. Okay, yeah, I found it. Right, can someone confirm that you can see my chart clearly? Euro JPY, it should show Euro JPY.
Yeah, we can see it, Dagi.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. So guys, let's start. Someone, any volunteer in terms of that trade? Anything that you faced, anything that you would have done differently? Because this is our entry. This is the entry we took on Monday at 50, 25, 25.50. So around this candle or this candle, one of them, can't remember exactly. It was 25.50, trade 157 on the signal. So it was entry was one of them candle. I can't exactly remember. It's one of them. So it entered here. So what happened after that? Market made next day move towards in our favor. So our target one was hit, went past our first target, which is 50 pips. Then what happened after that? Market decided next day, market decided to reverse against us. So market went up past our entry. Our stop is, remember, was 20 pips stop. So went back here. And then next day, market just decided to reverse. So when it reversed, went past our entry, almost to our stop, 5, 10 pips away from our stop. Market decided to do a pullback in our favor again. So 2 days on the second day was at our entry. Then eventually made the nice move. At the time, a lot of you guys probably think, oh yes, we got our trade. Then all of a sudden, few hours later, we see this move back to just about to take our stop out. Then the daily candle, I think, closed here. I think the daily candle was closed here. So it's a worrying moment. Next day, what happened then? Started to drop back, tested, failed, eventually made the move in our favor again. So after this move, what happened then? We're back into profit again. And then eventually we got back to 55, 52 pips. Then market decided to go back against us, back to our entry. That's the third day, back to our entry. And then what happened? I think it was on the fourth day, market decided to make the move in our favor again. And then our final target is there. Market is just about to hit our final target. So it took us 4 days of this. Then eventually made the move off. How many pips is that? 75 pips. So anybody that actually stayed on the trade till that close to our final target, or anyone cashed out beforehand? Is there anyone that stayed on to see what happened with the trade? Come on, guys. This is a session for our what we've done last week. If you're not going to do any, if you guys are not going to, well, one, either you haven't done it, two, you're just being too quiet. It's just not making any sense. Our session today is to learn what we.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Is that Elliot? Is Elliot?
Yeah, I've just downloaded the app from my phone.
Is that Elliot?
Yeah, it's Elliot.
Oh, good to see you, man.
Yeah, man.
You're right, yeah?
Yeah, not bad. I took the trade on the demo.
Yeah.
And then I didn't monitor it at all really all week, and then I was quite busy at work, so I didn't have much time to be trading and stuff. And then I checked it, and it dropped. It like proper impulse down, didn't it? All I did was just move it to break even, and then I think eventually I got taken back out. Eventually, but if you were trading, you would have definitely made money on it.
Yeah. So exactly what happened with that trade is, because I deliberately left the trade on 20 pips because I know there's a possibility. 120. Ideally, stop loss is 125 if you want to go for that 23 level.
Yeah.
But the reason I stayed on that one because I know you need to get the feeling, because if it's going towards your stop, these are in real trading. These are the things that you face. 20, 50 pips stop loss, you're not going to feel much until another, or maybe a week later. So that is just to get us through the week. If you get stopped out, we're going to discuss about why you got stopped out. And the reason for that stop was 20 pips is so that a lot of guys, what they do is when they start monitoring the trade, they're like, oh, go into my stop. I'm going to move my stop. I'm going to do that. I just want to hear from them guys. What are the thoughts went through when actually that was going towards the stop?
Yeah.
They're thinking, oh, I'm going to move my stop. Or are they thinking, oh, no, I'm going to cash out, or I'm going to take my loss? I just want to hear those things that guys actually went through, the kind of experience they went through.
When I done the USD CAD like 2 weeks, was it last week?
Yeah, last week.
When I done that, it was one of that trade was like, do I move, because it was literally just about that news time, and it's like, do I move my stop like a little bit more, because like you because where I entered, price had moved up so far, and I was like, well, I could move it an extra 10 pips. I would normally have a stop loss of like either between 20 or 40 pips, never normally more than 40. And it was at like 20 pip range. I was like, okay, maybe I could another 10, but I didn't. And then I think if I was to have it on a 40 pip stop, it wouldn't have taken me out. I think I'd have been in by 6 pips, and then it finally dropped after after like 2 days of consolidation. It then dropped.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember that trade clearly because you did mention it a day before as well. You were saying, "Oh, I'm thinking about this trade, and then I think I made a comment. I said Euro USD and CAD news coming at the same time. So what are the chances is going to be going both ways? So that is one that I think that would be maybe if I look at that trade, I think that was the error that you made when there was two news coming out at the same time. So you know what is going to happen. Either going to go up and then back and then up, then going to make the final decision. So I think you entered just before the news out. I think you entered just before. So either, even if it goes in your favor, it's going to do both things, because there'll be one positive, maybe one negative, and then eventually everyone going to decide which way is it going. So maybe that was overall, it did go to your direction the way you were expecting. So just little things. Maybe next time, when you look at that, you probably say, okay, instead of that, I'm going to look both news. If it's both of them out at the same time, I'm not going to take the trade straight away. I'd rather wait to see the direction. That could have been the trade that made you a lot of money in that. Maybe by making that decision.
Yeah, although it lost, I still feel like
that was the right trade.
It was a right trade. It was a good trade. I still feel like I would have still taken that trade like time and time again.
Yeah, and the reason I would say that you won that trade is because you didn't move that stop. You kept it there because you don't know at the time. At the time, the way it was moving, it could have gone another 100 pips. I mean, you don't know. Because at the time,
especially with 2 news events.
Exactly, you made the decision at the time. So at the time, I don't think it was a bad decision because it was going opposite the way. It was like
I tell you what I did do as well. I did also look. Well, I had all these like thoughts going on in my head and stuff, and I did scroll back through the charts when they released like previous data, looking to see like how big the jumps moved in the market. I'm thinking, fuck, like if this like slips through my stop loss, like I'm fucked. You're just going back to like check previous movements and stuff like that. You build this like case in your head, and you just like fuck. Maybe I should move it. Maybe I shouldn't move it. But if you just stick to it, like.
I mean, at the time, to be honest, I think you made the right decision because at the time it was moving totally against it. At the time you made the decision to say enough is enough, because you don't know if that was the continuation move or is that going to reverse. You just don't know at the time. And you don't want to be in that when you know what are the possibilities. If that had gone, that could have been change of a trend. It could have been. You don't know. But then again, by coming out, then next day you saw everything is fine. What are you going to do? You're going to take another trade because everything else is fine. It just the false move or news, whatever is done. But overall, back to your setup again. So you could have take back the trade again if you wanted to. But I don't think that was a lost trade, to be honest. Although, yes, it was a loss. But overall, it was at the end of the day, it was a loss. But you did stick to your trade plan. If you changed it, because this is the mistake that most of the guys make. When they're into that trade, for example, you looked at positive on that trade, you lost, you took it as a positive. Most of the guys, what would they do is they took that loss, instead of taking the loss, they would move their stop. By moving their stop, and if they had continued, they would have been in big trouble. And they would have, instead of that a small loss, they would have been in a huge loss. And then they would have come out, and that's when the market would have dropped, and they'd be like, oh, what have I done? And that is the common one. It happens. By you taking a small loss, you're out of the trade. Next thing is, If the move continue in your favor, you can jump back in. If your
Yeah.
setup is telling you everything is fine. So that is definitely, yeah. Those are the things that you go through. And the quicker you get out, if you're wrong, get out quick as possible is the best way.
Yeah.
You should never look back and say, I lost the trade because if I could have done this, could have done that. At the time you made the decision. What did the actually market do at the time? Not after an hour, not after a few days later. What happened at the time? Is there anything else you would have done differently? Chances are maybe not. You probably made the right decision at the time. Hour later, that's a totally different thing. It's what is happening at the time you're making the decision. Was it the right decision? At the time, I would say yes, it was the right decision for coming out, because you don't know what could have happened after that. So yeah. And Euro JPY is the reason that I'm actually talking about more, is because this is exactly what happens in 90% of our trades. It happens, usually goes into favor, then we don't do anything with the trade, and then eventually goes above our entry, closer to our stop, and then guys start to make decisions. That is not the time to make decisions. It's too late. And then what happens is, instead of they saying, you know what, my stop is 10 pips away, what is going to happen at the end? I'm going to get stopped out. Instead, they will just come out for no particular reason. You don't have any reason to come out, and just come out. And then what happens is, then the market drops, and they start regretting, why have I done this? Why? But they would not learn from it. They would do the same thing again and again and again. So that is the reason that I'm talking about this. Is like guys that took that trade, they probably done similar things over and over and over again in the past. And that is something that you have to get rid of. The trading, when you actually make a decision, you made the decision to get into the trade. All the questions, everything should have been asked before you took the trade. You took it, it's out of your hand. Everything else you already done. Now let the trade run. You know how much you're going to lose on the trade, and if it goes in your favor, you know what to expect. So that is something that guys need to start doing. All the guys need to start doing is plan, execute, and that's it. And instead of no plan, question on the trade, that is not trading. When you're in the trade, when you start asking questions, that is not trading. You plan ahead, then you execute, and then, because nobody knows if you're going to win the trade or not. But as long as you've done your homework, you've done everything that you can, and then you made your decision. Final decision is putting the trade. That's it, done. After that, it doesn't matter if what is it? Donald Trump going to come and say he's going to turn the market another 100 pips against me or 1,000 pips? It doesn't matter to me, because I made that decision beforehand. Now it doesn't matter who comes in the market. So that is the way of, you need to start, guys. You need to start looking at the trades, planning the trades, instead of jumping in, no reason, coming out, no reason, booking profit. It just doesn't make any sense. When I was doing my signals and stuff like that, when I had no idea what trading was, my biggest emotional thing was taking profit. Like, I could literally hold a trade. I could be in minus for like a day, 2 days, and then it would go like £20 in profit, and that was it. I'd take it. But I'd be minus £50 for the last 2 days or something. But as soon as it went 20 quid profit, I just closed it. Yeah, because you think, you know what, all this time negative, now it's a profit. Yeah. Let's call it a day. And then you find out if you left it, it could have been it would be worthwhile the wait. Yeah.
It's such a fucking head game. It's unreal.
that is the reason. You know what? Exactly, this is the reason that guys lose more money than make more money, is because when you're kind of making those decisions, you're happy to hold a trade for such a long time in a negative, and then when it goes into profit, you are like rushing to take it out.
Yeah.
And that is because a lot of the time, maybe not understanding the reason behind that trade, maybe. But when you have planned it, in advance, you're going to just be patient. You're just going to be like sitting there. You know what? I already know how much I'm going to lose. What now? It's time to give. When it's in a profit, it'll be like, now it's time to give me. All this time I waited. I know how much I was going to lose. Now it's time to pay me. Worst comes worst.
Just quick. Did you? Sorry, just back in. This is another example. Back in end of December when USD CAD dropped. Did you get in on that or not?
USD CAD. December I didn't trade. I only traded one week.
It was sort of end of December. It was a massive drop.
There was one trade I was on, Euro CAD I was on.
Yeah,
I think
there
pretty much I got 200 pips out of this one.
Yeah. It was a very, very big move. Like,
yeah. I did got into that one, Euro card, but wasn't a USD card. It was a Euro card. That's the one I got in.
Yeah, USD CAD for sure was probably about a whole week of just consolidation. Like every day was literally like 100 pips up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down.
And eventually made the move.
I did get in on that one trade, and it was the second drop before it went back up again, then dropped. So it dropped. I moved my stop to break even. It come back up, took me out, and then it just plummeted. Like exponential, like it was crazy. And I'm just thinking, like, fuck, what did I do wrong? But like, it was that. The thing with a trade like that was I moved my stop because it went so many pips, and it just come back up and then took me out again. But the trade was absolutely mad. So it's a situation like that. It's like you either just leave your stop forever, not forever, but
that's when, you know what, best thing to do is to cash in like partial profit, just to give yourself, you know what, worst comes to worst, I'm not going to lose anything. So when you have that, it's like calm you down, allow you to focus as well. Instead of saying, oh, we should have done this, we should have done... It doesn't matter if it goes back to entry. I took 50% out. I'm going to put back 50%. And it just so, you just need to put you in ease more than anything else. Then after that, you can focus more onto trade rather than looking at, oh, what happened if I lose this trade now? I've seen a lot of guys, they do nothing about it. And then all of a sudden it goes against it. That's when they start panicking. And then for the next week, they're like disabled in a way that because such a big profit they could have been on, and instead they finish the week on negative by not doing anything. And that is quite commonly used. That one usually you see quite often as well. But that is the reason I usually book partial and then let the trade running for until I hit my final target, or at least close enough. Things like that. Another good example is our gold trade. It's the guys. I mean, this one was 6-month plan. Gold trade was like 6-month plan. A lot of guys were buying. I wasn't interested in buying because I had that markup. I'm going to sell at that price, and I'm going to watch out for price action there. And eventually, it did what I done a live session as well. So I informed all the guys. Look, even 6 months before, I said, guys, whatever you do, have some money ready for gold. And this is what my plan. This is what I'm going to do. And everything I set up, but they were impatient. They will start buying. They will start selling. So eventually, I don't know what they were doing, but I didn't buy. I just said I made my mind 6 months before what I'm going to do on that trade. And when it got to there, 50, I was looking at 50, 1350. It didn't quite get there. And then my setup started to come into play. And I said, okay, this is it. I'm going in, and this is my stop, and this is what I'm going to do. Probably leave that trade for 6 months. That's what I said. But a lot of guys, what they've done is, on the first day, it took a move of 200 pips. So what usually happens? Boom, 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 cash out, and that's it. They're happy. They're like buzzing. And what I've done is I just said, you know what? This is whatever happens. I'm going to leave that trade until it get to my final target. So I cashed out half the position at 32, and then let the trade running until 13.8. So from 42 to 13.8, I left the trade until that. And then I was thinking of keeping the trade. Then I thought, no, that is too much to lose now. Because that is like from there to there, that is far too much to lose. So what I've done is I cashed out then. But then the day I cashed out, it dropped another 300 pips. I was like, whoa, what is happening here? So things like that, you have to be patient and you have to execute with your plan. And on that trade, if someone had put $1, they would have made about 2,000-3,000 on that trade. If they had just leave $1. So opportunity like that, you just have to just let those run. And a lot of the time, by panicking, guys, just one move and they come out, and that's it. So if they keep going to do this throughout the year, chances are they're not going to be profitable trader. They're going to end up losing trader because they're booking in good trades. They're booking too early. Bad trades, they're just letting it run. So things like that, we're going to progress. But today is more of basic things. I just want to see the guys that actually took the trade. What are the things that went through their head? What are the things that have they made any decisions in between without actually telling me? It's just anything. Just be honest with yourself. Just so that we can discuss, and a lot of guys probably learn from it as well. Because things that went through my mind as well on the Euro JPY is, okay, now I'm in a 60 pips profit. What do I do? It did come through my mind as well. Shall I cash out altogether because I can see possibility of reversal? But then I said, no, I already booked partial profit. So what is there to lose now? And that's how I stopped from doing anything on that trade. So a lot of guys probably seeing so many different ways. When it was about to hit stop, what do you do? Do you actually move a stop, or did you thought, no, I'm going to let the trade run? Any guys, anything that you went through? Because if you don't, then those are things that you're going to do continuously. You're going to do that, guys. You're going to be another trade. You're just going to do the same thing. So if you have done something that, if you want to share something that you differently from anyone else, that'd be great. It looks as a lot of guys probably even took the trade maybe on real account. That's what telling me.
This is Eric speaking.
Oh, hi. All right, Eric.
Yeah, so I took the trade. So as I said in the group chat, just start of the week, I was also thinking of moving the stop loss slightly above, but at the same time, immediately I saw it go to blue. I booked my profit early. I booked it at around. Let me quickly check. I think when it went around 124. I think 124 area.
Yeah,
that's when I started book. Yeah, that's when I booked some of profit. So I could have gotten more definitely from that.
Yeah, but that trade. Remember, there's two target. Yeah. Remember, there's two target, which means one position should be closed itself at 25. So which means that trade is already won. So that is what I'm trying to get to. See what guys, how they actually plan the trade. Have they gone with one position or have they gone with two positions? If they had gone with two positions, one position that would have been closed while they're sleeping. You know, the guys talk about make money while sleeping. That would have been the way of doing it. They usually, that trade was closed while I was sleeping. Literally one position got closed when I woke up. So which means that trade is already won. So my 50%, because I wanted two position, and first target was 25. So and another target was 24.50. So 25 is closed itself. In the morning when I woke up, I saw that position close. So which means 1-to-1 is already got. I already got my 1-to-1 on that trade, and then the rest I just left it. Almost went to my stop, and then eventually following day. So yeah, Eric. So you're doing the right thing by cashing out booked some profit, which means that trade you're not going to lose anything, and then eventually went towards a stop, and then a lot of other things come into play as well. And by booking partial, it stops you from that as well. Anyone else thought about differently on that trade, or if you had took yourself, what would you do? What would you have done on that trade even if you took it yourself on real account or normal trade, the way you trade? What would you have done on that trade when it was 5 pips away from the stop? Right. Anybody else? No? Okay, no problem.
I actually didn't take the trade, and I really don't remember the trade, so I can't discuss the trade.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Johnny. Yeah, go ahead.
I know. I said I can't because
you can. You didn't take it. You didn't take it. All right.
And I didn't follow as you guys took the trade.
All right, no problem. But even if you haven't took it, those are the things that you everybody faces those things. If you can see my chart, usually what happens is market usually makes that move, then eventually goes towards the stop, and that's when the mind game comes into play. When it's there and your stop is there, what do? A lot of guys, this is the thing starting to do, is moving the stop, and that is not the right thing to do. Sometime I could understand if there was certain things missed out on the trade, and you think, okay, I reanalyzed, my stop is just maybe a pip or two, could save my trade. I could understand that. But when you start moving up and up and up, then chances are you're doing wrong. You're not doing the right thing. So that trade was something to learn from. By leaving the trade, these are the things could happen, and it's about 90% of the time do happens. When you start to see those things happening, coming to profit, going back, and also planning is so important. How long are you planning to hold that trade? I said to you guys, my plan is to hold for a week. So what happened? It doesn't matter on my second day goes to my stop. It's within my time. I said a week and it wasn't even a week there, second day. So it's all about how long did you plan it for to hold. And if that was trade I was thinking of holding for a day, and then I see first 6 hour dropping, and then the last few hours heading towards my stop, I would have come out on my entry, because that is the time limit I set is exceeding. So it all depends how long are you planning to hold the trade as well. And this one was planned for a week almost. So that is the reason that I left the trade running. I'm going to see till the end. And by holding to the end, I got the result. So that's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. It's planning is so important before you take your trade. Every question you have, you should be asked before you put the first trade on. After that, it doesn't matter who telling you what, you stick to your trade plan. And that's what I do. It doesn't matter who tells me what. I'm on the trade. That is too late. Doesn't matter what is going to happen in the trade. It's too late now for me. So that's how I take my trades and how I stay on the trades. Any guys got any question, guys, regarding the video as well? That was a basic video. Things that it just everybody should know before you put your first trade. And if you're trading without knowing these things, you are doing something really, really naughty. You should not be doing that. Just simple. It's very, very simple things. That's what we're going to do for next week as well. We're going to take another trade and we're going to do similar things. And I'm going to do a video hopefully tonight or tomorrow morning on candlestick, because that is something that you all need to understand. Doesn't matter what strategy that you use, it does not matter. That is very important to understand how
another good thing is for like trading apps and stuff is just, I know like everyone has their own like opinions and like emotions towards it, but like on like the MetaTrader app, because obviously I do all my analysis on my laptop and then I trade off my phone, but it's instead of having the money that you're making, it should be in percentages. I feel like seeing the money on the actual chart, it should just be percent. Like I think when you see the money aspect of it, it does have an effect, especially if you're a new trader anyway.
Even with the experienced trader, it does plays a big part. You and like, for example, depends obviously what money you're trading with. Can you imagine when you're trading with like a big account, when you see, whoa, it's almost in a 1K, and your mind, what happens is automatically goes to the money. It doesn't matter what you do. So how I block myself from the money side is I do not even look at the money at all. My eyes just goes onto the chart straight away, just to block that money thing side away. Because when you start to see that money, you start to think you focus in so much on the money and eventually miss so much information from the chart. And that is something that, yes, it does. If it was percentage, you can't see the money, it would have make life so much easier. So you don't get attached to it. When in a bad trade, you start to say, oh, it's going, oh, so much is. But if it's a percentage, it would have make it less. Yes, it makes a lot of sense.
My mentor as well that I learn off as well. He was talking in one of his videos about like having investors and stuff and having investor money, and he deals with a lot of money, like millions and stuff like that. He said when he first got his first 100,000 and he was trading 1% of that, and then as soon as he jumped from 100,000 to 300,000 pound, just because it was an extra 200,000, and just from it going up from 1,000 to 3,000 was just the number aspect was massive. Like,
it's like massive.
He said for the first month it completely fucked him. Like he was still trading like 1% of 100,000, and then he was messing around with some percentages on one trade and some percent on another trade, and he's like, no, you have to just stick to it, because 1% on a good trade, and then you might get 2% on a bad trade. You literally just have to, stick to your plan.
That's it. By sticking to it, at the end he will come out on top, and you start to, because that is it. That's everything else is the same. Everybody got the same information. So why some of the guys only make money and some of the guys continue?
This is where as well.
It's those decisions cost you the money.
Yeah, this is where as well is where I eventually do want to get to a point where I'm just trading one fixed size. Like if I was to do one account, I don't know, say of a couple of thousand, and you adjust to you 5% every time. Like as long as you stick to your plan, I think the exponential growth of that would be literally insane.
Yeah, it's very much doable. Elliot, it is. It just what you are doing is the right way of doing things. You are taking yourself stepping back from trading real account and eventually
Yeah.
moving practice, because the more you see that consistency building on your even demo account, because a lot of guys take it as a demo as it's just a fake money, but when you start to treat it as like real money, it makes it big. It makes so much sense.
Oh, yeah.
And when you go into real account, you see as exactly the same thing. You don't
Yeah.
see as a demo account you've been playing with. You play with your real account. And a lot of guys, what they say is 100,000K. Hey, let's put on 10 standard lot, or you put buy a standard lot, randomly just going into crazy like, oh, and then that's not, you're not learning nothing. You literally learn nothing. You're just playing with that. This is what the broker wants from you. You just play.
I think even doing a live account and just literally sticking £100 in and doing bare minimum, like account lot sizes and stuff like that. Because it's that emotional feeling. As soon as you put real money into it, it's a completely different, isn't it?
It's completely different thing. But if you start building with your demo account and you're treating them real money, same as real money, then that transform into your real account. And if you start to messing around with your demo account, saying, you know, I lost, so what? Then you're going to do that with your real account. I lost, so what? And that's when the disaster take place. When you start to treat your demo account like a real money, you know, it hurts you when you're losing, because you hard work all this time you put on and you lost the trade, and then you only go back. Then you're gonna take things more seriously. But when you start to say demo account, also what, I lost the trade, and then you're going to do the same thing with your real account. So what, I lost. And as I said, why would they give you 100,000 on your demo account? This is for a reason. A lot of guys, what they do is, new traders come in, they got 100,000, they start playing with lot size. They're like, it doesn't matter about lot size. I want to make 10,000. I want to make 15,000. And what they do is they do that. And they start playing, and eventually go into live account. What happened? They start playing with the same kind of lot size. And one trades, they are finished. And that is most commonly the common mistake I've seen most of the guys makes, because they have the habit of demo trading, a bad habit of demo trading, move into real account. And if it's a good habit of demo trading, and if they take it to the real account, it works awesome. It depends how guys start to take things. But as I said, this month I said to all the guys, let's put everything aside. We want to start slowly build this business. To do that, we need to go back to our basics, demo trading. And then when you get to a month later, we see progress on that, then we'll move into real account. But a lot of guys don't have the patience. They want to make money tomorrow. By doing this, they're just going back and back to the same thing again. So I'm just going to give the shot with the guys that really want to and sticking to the plan. Otherwise, it's just going to be the same thing. We're going to do 1 week, and next week they go back to real account, because it was such a good trade. Because if they had put into the real account, they would have made a lot of money. They don't understand that same opportunity is going to be there a month later. It's same opportunity is going to be there tomorrow. It's just that a lot of guys just desperately wants to make money right now, and that's something that's going to hold them back. Maybe in 2 years down the line, they're going to be the same place doing the same thing. So I just want those guys, you know what, pull themselves away from real thing, because emotionally get attached. That's how you don't learn. As soon as you get emotionally attached to the trades, no matter what information people are giving you, you're not going to take it. And nothing going to go in your head. You're just going to be back to the same thing, because you're just focusing on your trade, bad trade. Oh, what is happening? And someone's telling you something, you're like not going to listen to it. No. So it just that by putting the real trading aside, that would have been a way of learning. And then let's get ready for next month. That's what it could be planned out. And for trading, I don't know how long Elliot has been planning for. You need a long plan. Is it a year? Is it your target to be full-time trader in a 5 years time, 2 years time, 1 year's time? What is your plan? If you got plan to make, if someone got plan to make money from tomorrow, I mean, it's impossible. And a lot of guys go in, they want to make money from the day one, and
when I was doing because obviously I've been back testing and stuff like that. I've done like a trial week where I didn't do back testing, and I just done like demo account. And you talk about getting in the market quick and you want to make a quick buck. I took 2 trades like that entire week. That was it. And it was like, when you're doing your back testing, obviously you can use the bar replay tool, and you can skip a couple of hours every time and stuff like that. So I sat there on a live market thinking, fuck me, this is slow. Like, do I get in now? Do I wait a little bit longer? But you do have to literally just sort of wait. And that's the other thing as well, is you have to be patient. You have to wait for your rules to be met. But that's what I was just sat around thinking, fuck me, this is like the first week I went live, and it was not live, but like demo live, trading my way, and it was just like, this is slow.
Yeah. And also, guys, fail to understand is a week you only need one trade. Doesn't matter what size the account is. It doesn't matter what your target is. One good trade, you will make the whole week. Instead of trading, like taking about 20, 30, 40 trades a week and eventually end up with less than what one trade make you. So it just being patient. That what stops you from all this. And also rules that stops you from bad week. A lot of guys don't have any rules. They would more money coming, they will be trading more and more. And eventually they find out on Friday, oh, what happened there? I lost all my profit for the whole week because they never stopped. They just market giving, and they're just focusing on that more and more and more. Eventually gone because they didn't stop. If they had a trading system or a trading planner set, they would have stopped at certain time. They would have been stopped.
You could
And
probably literally trade, if you were to trade like 10 trades through the year, and you just hit them 10 trades that are like the most high probable trades, and you used to hold them for a week or 2 weeks, they could literally be like 10 to 20% per trade.
Exactly.
Like, people don't understand that. People think like you want to just get in now and
more trade you take, more money you make. That's the logic most of the guys got. More trades you take, more money you're going to make.
Yeah.
No, the less trade you take, it could be more than you're taking the whole. It just one trade. That the way I work out, the way it works with me is, I just said, you know what, I stick to my plan. I lose two trades. That's it. I'm sitting a back sit. But eventually, all I focus on is my daily target is not hit. That's fine. Then second day, my target is not there yet. That's fine. Third day is not there yet. That's not a problem. I still got 2 days. And all I know out of them, there will be one good trade. So when that one good trade takes in, instead of me taking all these losses all the time, I just patiently wait. There will be one trade. When is it going to happen? I don't know. It'll be there. So I worked it out. No matter how bad week I have one good trade. And when I have that one good trade, I don't know, Elliot, you must have seen on the channel group as well. I hit it hard.
Yeah.
When I get that trade, it doesn't matter. It just boom, 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 everything recovered. So it all depends what is your strategy, what are you actually looking for. I will focus on, if I have 1 or 2 bad days, next thing I move on to my one good trade. When is that one good trade going to come? I won't jump into every trade. I'll be waiting for that one good trade. And when that kicks in, that's it. I'm done. And then after that, if my weekly is not met, I move on to my monthly. I focus on monthly. Because if you start to say, you know what, I had a bad day, I need to make money, you're just going to into bad position. For the next day, you're going to be in worse. So you just need to brush it away, and you need to start following your targets. If your daily target's not hit, that you should not be panicking. Your weekly targets, you focus on your weekly targets, so you don't look for all those losses. Then when your weekly target hit, not hit, say for example, you have a bad week, not hit, you focus on your monthly target, because you're still got the whole month to go. But if you lose all your account on your first bad week, then chances are you're gone before you the whole month. You got a whole month to play with. You don't have that money to do it. So that is where the risk management come to play, and that's when your trading strategy, trading plan. Strategy is one thing you need to learn, you need to practice, but the plan is very important. Everybody should have that plan. Any business we run, we have every plan. We do go in every week with a plan. Oh yes, I want to make that money. My business needs to make that much money to cover my cost. Long as bad week covers my cost, it's been a good week. So we fail to understand that. When you have a break-even week, a lot of guys goes through depression because they didn't make any money. I don't want to name it here because I don't know if that person is there or not. Was during the Christmas? That person made a lot of money, and I mean, we had a great up to November, even with the signals, but December I didn't even trade. So the guy messaged me, and he said he made I think it was 150% on his account, and I was like, what? Get the hell out. I just said, get the hell out of the thingy market. And guess what he's done? He started trading throughout the December. And then on January, I messaged, because he was meant to be in my education group, not replying to me. Not replying, no reply. I already know what happened, because this is what I've been seeing all the time. No reply. Eventually, I got the reply. Zaki, guess what? I just lost everything I had. That is just trading with no plan. Because more money giving, the more money it started. It just something that it's just so easy to get. The greed, although you don't realize, gets you. It just gets you. So that's it, guys. Got any questions? So those are the things that we need to start doing, guys. Starting to go with a plan. Strategy, as I said, no matter how busy you are, if you're part-time, looking to do part-time, full-time, doing daily basis, whatever it is, there is a strategy to go with. But you need to work towards that strategy. You can't just jump in to say, yeah, I'm going to make this, I'm going to make that. It just doesn't work. And one trade wonder, there'll be plenty. You might just go through a whole year losing, and you find one good trade, and that might makes you most of the money back. But these are things that is not trading, because if you're looking for trade, those are targets you need to meet. Is your business allowing to pay for your bills? If it is, then it's a good business. But if it's not, then that's not for you. Anybody else got any other questions? Anybody wants to share any story that anything that you're experiencing that it would benefit the other guys?
No, I don't think so.
Sorry, John?
I don't think so.
All right. Right.
Yeah.
So,
the session I might be doing about consumption will probably be late next week. Oh no, late this week, because we're already in Sunday. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
just let us know, and then we'll plan this out.
Late week after this one.
Okay, that's not a problem. We'll plan this out, and we'll get the guys in. John Sessions, guys. When I put in that channel, put into your diary. It will be a lot of things that would help you as well. If you're looking to go full time and long term trading, a lot of information John going to share is going to be more. It's going to be very, very helpful towards your trading. So I would say when I do put into the group for the session, make sure you tune in, guys. So if there's nothing there, we'll go into our weekly analysis. I'm going to finish this call, and then I'm going to send you another link to just jump back in. Yeah, we'll do a quick weekly analysis. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, because this is getting too long, so I'll just finish this off, guys, and I'll send the link back onto the group. So if anyone wants to jump back in, we can do that. It's going to be a quick, about 15 minutes analysis. Right, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us, and thanks a lot for sharing everything that you shared.
Thank you.
We'll be back. Thanks.